Hello, guys. My name is Solomon. So thanks for Jojo. Thanks, Mylene. Thanks for Ron. So,
Harold buy the pizza.
oh, Harold buy the pizza. Thank you. Where is it? I saw some familiar faces right here, so a lot of people are new. So before I actually start, I want to know a little bit about you guys. So how many of you guys are actually a developer and actually working coding, or can you raise your hands? So it's around 40%. So I expect rest of the people has never even used vibe coding, right? A little bit? Okay. Then I'll try to formulate this presentation like a mid-level, entry to mid-level, so easier for everyone without less command line coding. Command line coding might be too much for a lot of people right here, okay? So let's get started. So today we're gonna talk about vibe coding. And we're Vibe Talk. What is vibe coding? Before of that, I'm gonna introduce myself first. So I have like around 7 years experience in software engineering and 10 years in hardware, which is circuit design. And actually I found a website called resumeguru.io in late 2022, I'm sorry, which is the ChatGPT just came to become super popular. And I went to UT Dallas right here to pursue my software engineering. And also that is, the next one is something I'm most proud of. I'm also a scuba instructor right here in Dallas. So if you want to learn scuba, let me know. So this is about our today's agenda. We're talking about vibe coding. So what is vibe coding? And why it matters to everyone? And what are the tools right now available for us? There are many tools. The newest tool just released last month. I'm not sure everyone knows about that, but for some developers, they know that it's called Gemini CLI. Gemini CLI, I would say, kind of like 99% clone of Cloud CLI. You will see the difference. I'll show you guys later. And after I present most of the important things and the basic and the knowledge, we're gonna do a live demo. So for that part, I hope everyone can get internet access and at least have a tablet. You just need a tablet. You just need to be able to open the web browser. For the people who has an actual laptop, I'll provide you a VM for you to play with it. So no problem at all for everyone. And that will be our workshop time. And after that, we'll have a Q&A session.
Many people are going to ask, will you share the DAT? And I will answer for you. You will share the DAT by
After the session.
Subscribe our newsletter.
Yes, subscribe newsletter because I'm going to share the DAC with,
Yes. And
with
them.
them.
On LinkedIn and give her a social media post, then you will receive it.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
If you want to add me, my LinkedIn is right here, so it's not inside the presentation. Okay, so this is the old way. So that person looks like me. No, he's more handsome. So back then, I was doing line-by-line code. So coding line by line for the first year. After the second year, I have a code base I can basically copy and paste and easily change the variable names. And I can have couple function, usable function I can use by changing different parameters or adding different parameters into a function to fit into a new code base or for a new application. But for that, you require a lot of technology understanding of the technology sectors, technology layers. For example, for non-technical people, they don't even know what is React about, what is JavaScript about, what is Java about. They don't know. But they still want to build an app because they have an idea, right? And for the old one, it's slow. The first year for me, it was kind of hard. I was trying to basically just learn my muscle memories, just like all of the sports. Once you learn it, you know, oh, that function is like over there. Then you kind of copy it. But this kind of muscle memory can be easily copied and pasted by AI. That's why we need the vibe coding. Because vibe coding is literally, they are doing repetitive work for you. Like a lot of functions already been created. You can just connect to the new API. You can connect the new functionality. You can connect to the new machine to control the machine actually doing some work for you. So that's why we need to transfer from our old way into a new way to actually speed up our process. I already talked about this. Why it's important? Because I'm sorry. let's go back. Why is important? Because talking with a AI agent is a lot easier than coding. For example, right now I want to build a registration apps. I need to ask my developer saying that, oh, right now this app is actually specific for today's event. I want to be able to scan QR code. I want to be able to scan that, scan this, and add their linking and automatically send out emails after the event. But as a developer, based on your requirement, I need to translate what you say and what you are requiring me to do into a coding logic. And that one actually takes out a lot of time and a lot of knowledge. And right now you have AI, you can basically using natural language, just like English, what we're all speaking right now, to tell the AI, what do you expect? What kind of apps you want? And once you input those requirements, AI will basically, first, the old AI first will basically using that to generate the result for you. But that is not what we want today. What we want today, actually the AI in the middle between you and the final generation, there is something called the pre-processing. They actually adding the layer of the logic for you and fitting to the next AI agent to easily create different function inside your apps and connect each pieces together. For that part, it's really hard for general users like a lot of you guys. You don't know, for example, right now I want to connect the QR code. Where to connect the QR code? You don't know that. You need to go to Google, oh, where can I create a QR code? And you need to go to that website to create a QR code and embed it into your apps. Right now, you don't need to do all of this. You can just use vibe coding. I think I already talked about this. Well, basically, you need to have an idea. And vibe coding can help you to rapid prototype your first apps really quick and very fast with just one simple idea. And once you have that idea, you can do different iterations. For example, today, I want to publish my apps onto Google Cloud. Tomorrow, I want to publish my apps onto Amazon Azure. Back then, we need to go to Google Docs to learn what to do, how to publish it. Or even though they have the web interface, I need to go to learn where to click. Like you were from Windows 98 to Windows XP. You don't know where to click on the star. You don't know where to click on the function. You don't know where is the folder. So you can ask AI to do all of this for you very quick. And for developer, AI is actually superpower your workflow. Just as I described before. Right now you have a huge project and your work is for 10 out of that 100 functions. Even for those 10 functions, they have many little functions inside. And AI can actually help you to spin out functions like, it's not instant, but it's like within a minute. But back then, I need to spend probably 2 hours, 3 hours, or even a day to create a function. After you create a function, you need to test out, does it work? Yes. For testing out how does it work, it's a really hard job. Sometimes you have some garbage inside your function. It doesn't accept all of the inputs. Once your input changes a little bit, it will basically die or doing loophole, doing inside the function. What does loophole inside the function meaning translate into English is sometimes you open your laptop, you open an app, and your computer, your GPU keeps spinning. Anyone has that kind of experience? Yes, right? It's basically either one, you don't have enough processing power. Two, you get clicked into a very bad reading function, which means the function actually just stuck right over there using all of your resources. But with AI, for developers, vibe coding, they can actually analyze all of your codes for you and spotlight all of the important spot for you. You can actually manually, basically using that to manually check inside the function to see, do I have to change this? Do I really need this type of functionality connect to my backend? And also, there's one more thing I just read, like I think 2 days ago, from a presentation from Dr. Andrew. He's the founder of Coursera AI, Coursera.com, the website for learning. Actually, he said, right now, the application layer, which is on top of everything, is the biggest opportunity for everyone using vibe coding. Because for NVIDIA, none of us can do that right now. It's too late. For Apple, Google, Microsoft, they are doing the infrastructure level, which is on top of NVIDIA and AMD. They're already big enough. We're too late. For the next layer, it's basically the orchestration layer, which is like using a tool called LangChain, something like that. If somebody doesn't know, that's fine. We skip it. It's like orchestration layer to help you to control all of the different agents and building up your apps. But on top of that is the most interesting part. And right now it's basically super huge for everyone. It's called application layer. For application layer, initially a lot of developers was very happy about that, and everyone is optimistic about that because, oh, you can build that. I can build it. You cannot build it because you don't know coding. With vibe coding, every one of you right here can do that. So maybe you have a brilliant idea. You can just keep your idea and using vibe coding. Tomorrow you'll be a millionaire. Don't forget to share me 10%. Thank you. 1%. So for vibe coding right now, this market is very, very competitive. Well, for my understanding, there are three different levels. The first level is for most of the people, which is the entry level. You are just using your natural language processing, and these four are the most popular providers on the market right now. The first one is Lovable. Second one is Bolt. Third one is Base 44. Fourth one is Replit. And recently, Replit just announced they are gonna cooperate with Microsoft. So whatever you build inside Replit, you can easily, one click, spin up that apps onto entire Amazon Azure Foundation. Does that sound exciting? Yes. So for us, for today, for most of people, we're gonna try both Lovable and Bolt. Base 44, they are actually better for apps building. What I mean apps building is a mobile apps application. And Replit is the same thing as for mobile apps application. For mobile apps application, it's a little bit different because if you want to distribute your apps, you need to register your own account with both Google App Store and also Apple App Store before you can actually release it to the general public. Without that, you can only test on some certified devices, or, well, that's at the Apple environment. If you are using Android environment, you can basically create your own APK and post it online. Every one of your friends can download that and install into your Android devices. But compared with the Lovable and Bolt, we can just build a web version of your apps. So anyone can just open a web app using the URL you provide. It's a lot easier, a lot accessible for everyone. So today, after all the presentation, I'm gonna demo the first two to try to build up a app in real time and based on someone's idea right here. So I'll ask for someone's idea. And the second one is the one most of the developer right here, I believe, you guys are using. I'm using too, Cursor, Windsurf, GitHub Copilot, Gemini Code Assistant. But for my personal experiences, I don't use Gemini Code Assistants a lot. Is any developer has different opinion? Yes? No? The major difference between Cursor and Windsurf, this group, and Copilot, GitHub, and Gemini Code Assistant is Cursor, Windsurf, they do have their own context management system. Context management is kind of out of today's topic. Context management, you can imagine like you are a chef. You have many different ingredients. You have recipe. You have stock in your pantry. What are you gonna do? So you are gonna base on what you have and that group of what you have is the context at that moment of time you are gonna to deal with. So for Cursor and Windsurf has a very good management system on that, and you can build up entire apps on top of that. For GitHub and Copilot, it's kind of limited. Their context window, for example, GitHub Copilot, you can only change or put in up to 10 files right now. As far as I know, it's only 10 files. It's different from Cursor and Windsurf. They will create an index file for you, and you can actually run through each individual files. And for Gemini Code Assistance, I searched on the internet. There's no limit right now, but their index feature is not as, I would say, reliable compared with Copilot or Windsurf. So I do believe most of the people right here use either Cursor or Windsurf. Or another one is,
Just a quick point. GitHub Copilot in agentic mode, it has much larger context. It can look at the whole solution file regardless of the number of files in it.
oh,
It's
can they look at the, you mean the agent mode?
agent mode.
Okay, I use agent mode too.
Yeah.
But do you know what's the context? I forgot to research on that. Their largest context for agent mode.
I do not know the numbers, but it was able to look at the whole solution which had hundreds of files. So it was
We can try that later using basically my code base. Perfect. Thanks for your information. I need to learn more about that agent mode because most of the times they're using Cursor and Windsurf.
You need enterprise license for that.
I don't have it. All the other providers, they are cheap. I'm cheap too. The only thing I pay for is basically cloud CLI. Cloud CLI maximum is 200. Enterprise version is a lot more expensive than that. Yeah, good to know. Thank you. And the next one is a CLI base. So this one probably not very interesting for most of the people. The Cloud CLI and Gemini CLI. Just by its name, it's basically all text window. So there's no easy window for you to see. You need to be able to use something like a MS-DOS text input and text output. So probably not very interesting for most of people, but for developer, you love it, right? Because, can I ask a question for Cloud CLI, how many agents have you ever tried to work at the same time? 10? Have you ever tried that? Yeah. No. Oh. Maybe if possible, I can try to use the Gemini CLI to demonstrate to you guys today. You can actually spin up multiple coding agent, vibe coding agent at the same time, help you to build out your entire stack. That is something, I think the GitHub Copilot agent cannot do it right now. Just kidding, yeah. So here are all of the key features. I would recommend you guys to just know about it. You don't need to memorize everything. And what is the magic behind of the vibe coding? First, we need to have the user input. Within your user input, the most important thing is your idea, which I call domain knowledge. Your domain knowledge is the most valuable stuff. Every one of you work in, I guess, different industry, even the same company, different departments. Even the same department, you still have a very specific knowledge you know other people don't. And that is the most important thing for you to put into your input, your idea, to put into the vibe coding. And the second one, once the AI receives your input, they are gonna process it using LLMs and create a structure in the backend. A lot of, like the first two I present, Lovable, Bolt, or even the third one and fourth one, they don't tell you how they process it. They don't display anything. They just, boom, here you go. your apps has been built. But for Cloud CLI, Gemini CLI, you can see that process. So you know how it actually working behind the scene. And after that, after they create the actual worksheet, workflow, or your design plan, they're gonna actually schedule it. Schedule it meaning right now I have phase one, I'll just build up the baseline of your apps without any code inside. Everything, every function is just a mock function inside. And using that logic to generate function pages one by one and functionality one by one. And after everything is done, it's gonna write a summary for you, whatever inputs you provide, and the AI agent has already based on that to build, and what are the features, what are the possibility, what are the security risks, what are of the connection you need to connect manually, they will provide over there. And after that, you can start to test your apps. Of course, using the free version, the easy one, you got to manually test it. Because if you ask AI agent to create a test cases, it probably needs to use a lot of tokens, which means you need to pay a lot for that. If you are willing to pay, that is okay too. So the last step will be the iteration. How come iteration is important? Because for vibe coding, it's not one go. Usually for simple apps, you need around 3 to 5 goes. And after that, your app is in, let's say, a small group of production, and people say, we need to add in new functions. Right now, you need to iterate your apps. And every time you adding a new function, changing an old function, upgrade a new function, you might break something. But the good thing for the vibe coding is they do record everything inside the process, during the process, so you can see everything that have been changing and go back to look through the code. But if you are not a developer, call for help, because for that stack, you still need someone can read the code, okay? And for the vibe coding, usually we use 2 different kinds of pattern. Usually I use the one on the left, easier. You can use a planning pattern, which is you have an idea. You basically create your idea using a prompt. And your AI agent, which is inside the website, inside the Lovable or Bolt, they will create a design plan for you. Or if you already have a design plan, that's wonderful. You can skip the user prompt. I'll show you guys in real time later, because design plan actually help you to create a structure steps to create your apps. You don't need to think about, oh, which one I should do first. I should create a folder first. I should install all of the dependency. There might be some dependency I need, but I don't know where to look for it. For this part, the online version will do all of this for you. You don't even need to do it for you. You just need to have a rough idea with your domain knowledge input. And after the online agent provide the plan, it will basically start to execute the plan and generate the task. So the task might be the first one, oh, I want to create a boilerplate. I want to install something. I want to install some dependency. The app will basically prompt you, oh, do you want to install this? You just, yes, 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 I want to do this. So right now, enter engineer comes in. You just need to do one thing, click on enter, then that will work. And after that, you will see the result and your final product. And the one on the right side, multi-agent collaboration, is actually a lot more complicated. Usually for that pattern, I use the CLI base. Because for CLI base, you have a common centralized information over there for all of the agent, all of the coding agent to read, to see what is going on, what is the current stage of this development. It's just like a small development. For example, we have 6 people right here. I'm working on the front end, you are working in the back end, you are working in the database. So you can basically spin out, three engineer. You can basically spin out 3 CLI windows right here. One agent basically working on the database field. one agent actually working on the front end field and one agent actually working on the back end, how do they know each other and how do they actually connect their functionality to each part? We have something called centralized context knowledge. Like for Cloud CLI, it's very easy. It's just called Cloud.md. If you are using Gemini CLI, it's exactly the same. It's called Gemini.md. So their syntax is very similar, 99% exactly the same. And today we probably won't demonstrate this one. This one is pretty complicated. It might take probably 2 hours to do something, but the final product is a lot better, I would say. And as I said before, you need to have the user input. And the user input, if you can come up with some pre-planning format, that would be better. If you don't know, maybe you can just follow this format. First of all, you have your project overview. What are you trying to build? And technology stack. Technology stack can be for something I want to use React, or I want to use Next.js. For non-tech people, you might say, oh, technology stack. I want to use Azure because I only know Azure. I want to use Google Cloud because you don't know any of the packages. That's fine. You just put whatever you know right here. The AI will try to figure out what's the best for you and fill it out, fill the blank for you. And what are the core components? Core components meaning the functionality for your apps. For example, I want to do checking. What are the checking procedure required? Checking procedure required. What are all the attendees I know? I need to know their name. I need to know their email addresses. So they might be saved into the database. So one of my core components needs to be able to connect to my database. If you don't know that, if you don't know any of this, that's fine. You just describe using one paragraph. I want an app that can scan a QR code and record the people that checks into my event. Then the AI will try to translate that into meaningful sentence for AI agent to read for you. And if your apps is a multi-agent design apps, you have another title about AI agent design. You can tell the AI agent, say, oh, right now I want to build up a multi-agent and concept with 3 agents. And each of the agent doing different jobs. First agent doing job A, second agent doing job B, third agent doing job 3. And different agents can have their own system prompt. That can basically decide the functionality of your specific agent. And each agent inside your apps can actually link to different knowledge base to provide different information, doing different kinds of jobs for you.
Does that mean you have to pay triple if you have 3 agents because every input and output comes?
Not necessarily. Sometimes it's even cheaper. Because if you are doing one call to OpenAI, you are basically using general knowledge. If you are separating your backend knowledge smaller, piece by piece, your knowledge is smaller, which means your return token will be smaller. Your processing token will be smaller. And your input, even though your input is the same, but your return will be more accurate, more like whatever information you want. So it's actually saving you some money in some cases. It's not all the case.
So the agent that you're talking about, so the app that I'm developing may not have agents, right? So this is only one scenario you're talking about, right? So vibe coding doesn't mean that it is always agentic.
Vibe code in this structure itself is already agentic. Agentic basically means that the vibe code in this tool will help you to do your work. Yeah, that is what it means. If
Be an agentic app, right? My app itself may not be an agentic design.
your app is what?
My app itself need not be an agentic AI app, right?
That's fine.
It could be a simple website itself, right?
Yeah, it could be in the website, of course. Right here, I'm just put it over here. If you want to embed an AI agent inside your apps, I would recommend to put all of this. Actually, all of this is not required, but if you have this kind of structure put into vibe coding as an input, your result will be better. Just like 2 years ago, everyone was talking about the prompt engineering. if you know how to ask AI agent, you will get a better result, and you will get a more consistent result. I can give you a very precise example I have experienced before. Is before I would say before February, early 2023, structure output is the most important thing, most hardest thing to get from an API call through an AI agent. OpenAI doesn't tell you how do they do that. On their documentation, there is nothing. So you basically kind of need to figure out how to actually get a structured data output. Because for your application, you are just using AI as a tool, helping you to do something and transmit something back, right? But for that transmit back, it cannot be natural language. It needs to be structured data. I bet you have had that experience before, right? Yeah. So.
My question is more on that line, AI agent design that you have mentioned. Can you elaborate on that? What is that AI agent design?
AI agent design is if I want to embed the AI agent inside my apps. If you don't need, you just delete it. None of this is required. This is just recommended. You can just have a very simple, the first one, project overview. What are you trying to build? But if you only have the first one, then the understanding from the apps might be kind of vague because they don't know the detail you want to do. But if your project overview can be just as simple as define one single function, then that's enough. You just need the project overview. But for a lot of people here, they want to build entire apps, entire working website from just one step, then they need to provide more information for the AI agent to know how to actually work on it. Am I answering your question? Good. So right now I've been talking a lot. Let's see, do we have enough? We should have enough time. We have 30 minutes. I'll try to build up our first apps today. So how to actually build up your apps using 5 coding tools. First, you need to have a template, which is the template I just presented previously. And I actually upload to a Google Drive, and it's on a shared drive. So later on, you guys can just download the template. And the second is the design idea, which is your domain knowledge. What are the things you want to build? And I'm going to ask AI to generate a full template for me to input to create an app. So today, our goal is to finish everything within 5 tries. So anyone can provide any idea they want to build. I just need one.
I need a registration checklist list. So everybody walk in, just tell me their name, and I can say check in. Then at the end of the day, I don't need a paper.
Okay, that's just put this in.
And plenty.
So what I'm gonna demonstrate is using Bolt.
Bolt. Can we use Lovable?
You can use both. You can use either. It's just in case we cannot finish in 5 tries, I still have some credit from Bolt.
Is voice enabled or?
Huh?
Is it going to be voice enabled or it's just
Checking?
is the app that we are building, is it voice enabled or is it just voice enabled?
No, it's not voice enabled because her requirement is not voice enabled. Her requirement is just tell me. Voice enabled, her requirement for that one will be the next iteration.
Yeah, you can think about your voice enabled request. I get it for free now.
So let me log in. The good thing for Lovable is you got 5 tries every day.
5 tries.
Yeah, okay? Only 5.
That's the free version?
That's a free version. I never paid for Lovable. So far, Microsoft hasn't provided anything free. Google hasn't provided anything free. So I got to use this too to show you guys easily.
What was it that just came up that you clicked on? You had
That's my login credential. That's my email.
I saw a list of
Yeah, that's a list of my Gmail. I have many Gmails.
So you have about 60 tries per day.
Well, another trick is just need more Gmail or more email.
That's the secret.
Not Shay.
So if you don't finish your work within the 5 prompts you have for each day, you can continue
You can continue the next day.
the next day, right?
Yes, the same project will still be saved. The only restriction is you can only do it 5 times. That is why the previous 2 slides, that planning is so important. You cannot just say, I want to build registration apps, then your one try is gone. And you have 1,000 words, still one try.
But can you use that as input to some other one?
Yes, I'm gonna use exactly the same thing, put into both, and let's see who builds the best.
After 5 tries, you take this app and put it in the other one and use the next one.
Oh, here's the trick part. Both of this website, they only provide export. They don't provide import. You can export, but once export is yours.
So paid version you have imported.
Yes. So what I have done so far is I use 2 of them to build up the MVP, because MVP you just need some basic functionality, some UI. They are pretty good on that. They always pick the most popular UI. A lot of developers right here, at least for me, I don't know what is the most top UI right now. They know. They will pick it for you. So for that part, we just skip easy. And after they give you the structure, the foundation, I export and using my local to build it. To build, actually finalize all of the detailed functions. That's my workflow, but you can totally rely on that because it does work on a mobile phone too. So if you are in the car, you can basically just use mobile phone. Let me, So what I'm going to do is just use my template and one example to tell ChatGPT, I need to create something based on this too. Well, I'm already full. Let me use Gemini. I can just paste tags, but I don't have any credit.
Would Gemini CLI still give you the same output as this?
Gemini CLI?
Yeah.
Gemini CLI is basically CLI-based coding assistance. It won't have an output like this.
They won't have an output.
Yeah, you mean writing a .md? Yes, they will. Yeah, you can use that too. Yeah, you can use Gemini CLI.
Could we try that? You mentioned deploying multiple agents.
For multiple agent, you need to tell the Gemini.md file, I'm gonna use it as a design planning. So create a design planning capable of allowing multiple agents to do the work. For that, it's more complex. You need to tell tell the planning agent, I want to have the capability to, for example, 3 agents working at the same time, and each agent will working on different part. So your design plan needs to be in sections, and each section doesn't rely on other sections.